Sophie had always believed in love like it existed in movies: grand gestures, soulmates, and perfect timing. She had read countless books, watched endless rom-coms, and listened to every friend's love story, convinced that her own tale would be equally magical. But life had other plans. Her first mistake, rushing in too quickly. When she met Jake at a cafe, their connection was instant. He laughed at her jokes, admired her passion for art, and called her amazing within days. Sophie ignored the small voice in her head that whispered caution. She let herself fall, fast and hard, thinking that speed was a sign of fate. Within a month, she realized she barely knew him. Their arguments began over small things, like which restaurant to choose, and escalated to bigger ones about values and future goals. Love, Sophie discovered, wasn't about racing. It was about pacing. Her second mistake was ignoring red flags. Jake had a habit of canceling plans at the last minute, and he would sometimes vanish for days without explanation. Sophie made excuses. He's busy, it's not a big deal. Until one evening, she found out he had been seeing someone else. The shock was painful, but the deeper regret was that she had known deep down that things weren't right. Ignoring red flags, she realized, only led to heartbreak. Then came the third mistake, losing herself in the relationship. When Sophie met Leo, she was determined to do everything right. She mirrored his interests, laughed at his jokes even when they weren't funny, and prioritized his needs over her own. But slowly, she noticed a gnawing emptiness. The hobbies she loved, the friends she cherished, even the goals she had set for herself, all seemed to fade into the background. Love, Sophie learned, should enhance your life, not erase it. The fourth mistake was expecting love to fix everything. Sophie later dated Alex, who had his own struggles: anger issues, insecurity, and a tendency to withdraw. Sophie thought her love could heal him, that if she was patient enough, supportive enough, everything would fall into place. Months later, she was exhausted, drained, and still alone in her efforts. Love didn't heal wounds. It could only walk beside someone willing to heal themselves. Fifth mistake, comparing relationships to others. Social media became a trap. Every time Sophie scrolled through posts of seemingly perfect couples, she questioned her own choices. Why isn't my love story like theirs? She'd ask. But relationships are private, nuanced, and messy in ways no photo can show. Comparing, she learned, only brought dissatisfaction and self-doubt. Finally, Sophie realized a critical truth: failing to communicate openly. Her last relationship had the potential to be different, but she held back feelings, fears, and needs. She worried about being too much or causing conflict. Months passed in silence until the inevitable resentment grew so heavy that even love couldn't survive it. Sophie sat in her favorite cafe one rainy afternoon, reflecting on her past loves. She had made mistakes, plenty of them, but she also learned invaluable lessons. Love, she realized, wasn't about perfection. It was about honesty, patience, self-respect, and understanding. And just as she finished her coffee, her phone buzzed. It was a message from someone she had met weeks ago. A kind, genuine soul who had been patient, respectful, and open from the start. This time, Sophie smiled, ready to try again, but with her eyes wide open. Because the most important lesson of all was clear. Love isn't about avoiding mistakes. It's about learning from them,